Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're tackling something huge. This idea of soulmate energy. You know that feeling? That like incredibly deep connection, almost like it was meant to be. The idea that someone out there just clicks with you perfectly.
Hmm. That perfect compliment.
Exactly. It's so captivating, isn't it? This real longing for a connection that feels, I don't know, cosmic, but also easy.
Yeah, effortless.
But how much of that is, the dream? And how much is something real we can actually find or build?
That's precisely what we're going to unpack today. Really get into it. Our mission, if you like, is to go beyond just the romantic stuff and figure out what soulmate energy might actually mean. We'll look at where it comes from, these surprisingly old roots,
Mhm.
like Plato talking about split beings.
Oh, right. The idea we were once whole and got split apart.
Exactly, searching for our other half. And then you have spiritual ideas too, like the Hindu concept of twin flames,
Mm.
which interestingly is often about growth through challenge, not just smooth sailing.
Okay, so not just simple harmony then.
Not always, no.
Yeah. And we're going deeper than just history and definitions, right? We want a really nuanced picture.
Absolutely. We'll dig into the psychology of believing in soulmates, look at how culture shapes this, and even listen to some, real voices, real experiences.
We'll touch on what science says or doesn't say, and crucially, how just believing in soulmates affects our actual relationships. What do experts suggest versus, the fairy tale?
Right. Trying to get a full picture.
Okay, let's peel back those layers. So first, big question. This soulmate energy, is it like a real thing we can measure? Some kind of cosmic force? Or is it more about how we feel, a psychological thing, maybe a story we tell ourselves to make sense of love?
It's a really interesting mix because, look, traditional science, it hasn't found a soulmate gene or anything like that. There's no scientific proof.
Right, no lab test for the one.
Exactly. But, and this is key, a huge majority of people globally really do believe in soulmates. And psychologically, that belief itself has power. It has this sort of dual impact. On one hand, if you genuinely feel you found the one, that belief can seriously boost commitment satisfaction. It can be a really strong anchor in a relationship.
Okay, so believing makes it stronger, potentially.
Potentially, yes. But here's the flip side. Some studies suggest that holding a really rigid soulmate belief, this idea that should be perfect and effortless, can actually correlate with more conflict.
More conflict? How does that work? That seems counterintuitive.
Well, think about it. If your core belief is my soulmate is flawless, our connection is destined and easy, what happens when you hit normal relationship bumps?
Uh-oh. You think something's wrong.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Any friction, any disagreement, which is totally normal, by the way,
Yeah.
it gets interpreted as, oh, this must not be my soulmate after all, or this connection is doomed.
Bro, because it's not matching the perfect script in your head.
Precisely. It's this fixed mindset. Love is perfect from the start, rather than love becomes something through effort.
Yeah.
Kind of sets you up for disappointment when reality kicks in.
Wow, yeah. That really puts a different spin on it. Like, we might be creating our own problems by expecting this fairy tale.
Yeah.
And culturally, I mean, this idea is everywhere, isn't it? Movies, songs, books. It's deeply woven into how we think about love.
Absolutely.
It helps us create a story for our lives, maybe especially now with, modern dating feelings so chaotic sometimes. It offers the sense of meaning, like there's a plan, a cosmic safety net, emotional security.
It's a powerful narrative, definitely.
Yes.
A comforting myth in many ways.
Yeah.
And this is where experts often step in with a more, let's say, grounded perspective. But it's not necessarily less hopeful, just different.
Okay, so what's their take?
The core idea, and you hear this again and again, is that really strong, deep relationships are built. They aren't just found ready-made.
Still not found. They're
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. When you actually look at couples who have that incredible connection, the ones people might call soulmates, what you almost always see is history. A history of intentional effort, real commitment through thick and thin, and growing together.
So it's less about destiny handing you a perfect person.
And more about two people actively creating that amazing connection, day by day, choice by choice. And this also opens up another really important idea. You can have more than one of these incredibly deep connections in your life. It's not just one shot.
Oh, interesting. So not just romantic ones either.
Exactly. Think about profound friendships, close family bonds, maybe even a mentor relationship that changes your life. These can all have that soul-like quality. The key takeaway from experts is often that love requires work, real work. Disagreements aren't a sign of failure.
Right.
In healthy relationships, conflict isn't avoided. It's seen as an opportunity, actually, a
Mm.
chance to understand each other better, to adapt, to deepen the intimacy. It's part of the building process.
That's a huge reframe. It takes so much pressure off, doesn't it? Finding that one single mythical person. And it's funny, this more realistic view, you actually hear echoes of it from real people online, like on places like Reddit.
Hmm.
We saw some comments that really hit home.
Oh, yeah. What were people saying?
Well, one person put it really bluntly. The soulmate myth is hurting your dating life.
Mhm.
By buying into the soulmate idea, you're setting yourself up for disappointment.
Wow. Straight to the point.
Yeah. And another one said something like, people need to drop this idea. It's a scarcity mindset and self-hypnosis.
A scarcity mindset. That's interesting. Like there's only one person out there for you.
Exactly. These comments, they really highlight the negative side effects people feel, the insecurity when things aren't perfect, the pressure it puts on relationships, feeling like you failed if it doesn't look like the movie version.
Hmm. And that really gets to the heart of this myth or magic question, doesn't it? If by soulmate you mean this flawless, predestined cosmic twin where everything is effortless, then yeah, that version is probably more myth than reality. Those Reddit users are feeling the downside of chasing that specific fantasy.
Right. The impossible ideal.
But, and this is a big but deep, meaningful, almost magical connections. They absolutely exist. They feel incredibly real and profound.
Okay, so how do those happen then, if not destiny?
These seem to stem from a combination of things. Genuine compatibility, definitely. Good timing, which matters a lot. Consistent effort from both sides. And, crucially, that shared willingness to grow together through the good and the bad. When those things click, that connection can feel incredibly powerful, like a resonant energy. It feels special, maybe even magical. But it's the result of building something, not just something that happens to you.
Okay, so less passive waiting, more active creating.
You got it.
So thinking about our listeners, what's the big takeaway here? If you're navigating your own relationships, what's the practical insight from all this?
I think it boils down to maybe focus less on destiny and more on deliberate cultivation.
Right. Shift from finding the one to building an amazing connection.
Exactly. And also, remember that one doesn't have to mean only one ever. Life is long and it's rich. You can have multiple profound, life-changing connections. It's not a one-shot deal.
That's really freeing, actually.
It is.
Yeah.
And also, this idea that conflict means failure. Let that go. Conflict doesn't mean it's not a soulmate connection. If you handle it well, it can actually make the bond stronger, deeper. It's a catalyst for growth.
And it lifts back to working on yourself, too, right? It's not just about the other person.
Absolutely essential. That soulmate energy, that real synergy, it really sparks when two whole individuals come together. Not looking for someone to complete them, but choosing to build and grow alongside each other.
Two whole people choosing to connect.
Precisely. So here's maybe a final thought to leave you with. While that fairy tale idea of soulmates is, incredibly romantic and speaks to something deep in us, real connection, that profound energy, it isn't really about finding someone perfect who is predestined for you. It's maybe more about the journey itself, the choosing, the nurturing, the hard work underneath what feels like magic. That's what truly defines that deep soul-level connection. Maybe consider, how might shifting to that perspective change how you approach not just romantic relationships, but all the important connections in your life?